The other day, I said to myself, geez, people really can't communicate right now. And then I realized, holy shift, it's Mercury Retrograde. Hello everyone, I am Michael and I help guide people on the evolutionary journey. We're having a very rough Mercury Retrograde. And it's just beginning, Light Warriors. Mercury Retrograde is known for disruptions in communication. And I said to myself on my journey recently, people really can't communicate, can they, right now? It was very frustrating. And then I realized that we're in Mercury Retrograde right now. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now, if you haven't noticed. So it's not like it was maybe a year and a half ago when, I was like, oh, maybe I'll talk about Mercury Retrograde. But yeah, like the whole world is, I don't know, collapsing right now. So there's a lot going on. But throw in on top of all of that, Mercury Retrograde. But it's okay. You come to the right spot because we're going to help you navigate Mercury Retrograde efficiently. And Mercury Retrograde, it messes with communication. And it made me really reflect on a quote that my mother used to love. And it says, make sure brain is in gear before engaging mouth. Be sure brain is in gear before engaging mouth. I see right now a lot of people might be engaging their mouth and they're not able to communicate properly. Maybe step back and take the time to make sure the brain is in gear before we miscommunicate. And it's okay right now, Light Warriors, because this is what happens during Mercury Retrograde. We see massive amounts of miscommunications during this time period. So it's best to just take a step back and maybe stay to yourself for a little bit of time or, be patient. But we see a lot of disruptions with communications and electronics during Mercury Retrograde. Even myself recently, in the last 2 days, I was speaking to someone, and while I was on the phone with her, the Wi-Fi in the house just totally went out, and I was just sitting here like, right? But it came back on, and then recently I had to upload a video that I did with my friend Adam, and I was having a lot of trouble. And, I was trying to do it on the phone, I was trying to do it on the computer, and everything kept glitching. But eventually I got it up there, and it worked out. So I've been experiencing a lot of glitches with electronics. So be mindful of this during this time. So for example, and I was actually a little preemptive. I spent a little extra time trying to have the video uploaded ahead of time. So if you're working with electronics, maybe give yourself some extra time to prepare for maybe some unexpected glitches to happen. All right. So, but this is a very bad retrograde when it comes to dealing with communication, and it's not a good time. It's not a good time to start new things during Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde is representing going backwards. So a few tips during this time period. It's actually a good time to go back to the past and try to fix up or tweak things that you've worked on already. Now is actually a good time to go back and work on those things. It's not a good time to maybe start something new, sign a contract, right? These things many of you are aware of, but or you might be new to Mercury Retrograde, but these are the energies of this time period. So we have bad communication, right? We don't want to start something new, but it's actually time to go back into the past, right? You might have started working on something and it was a few months prior, and now is actually a good time to continue working on that, right? Not starting something new. A lot of times on my journey during Mercury retrogrades, I went through some older topics that I've already touched on, and I'll during the course of the retrograde, I'll maybe revisit 4 or 5 topics and include them, right, or improve on them, right? So it's going to be a while till like June 22nd. We're going to have this Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to try to kind of stay to myself during this time period, because this is all going on as we're going through the global reset, as we're going through the collapse of the matrix. We should also be aware, we should also be mindful that our vibrational frequency is going to dictate our reality. So we have to be mindful of this. So sometimes it's good to take a step back and be in isolation, especially with the lack of communication, and you're going to get false information and it's going to throw you off, right? So take the time to step back, right, and be aware. And it's a lot easier when you're aware that communication might be off during this time period. It's a good time to be aware that electronics might have a few extra glitches, so give yourself some extra time, okay? It's a good time for completion, right? Not something that you're going to start. Maybe you're going to revisit either a person, a thing, or a situation from your past that you were working on, and now you're going to go back to one of those aspects and improve on it now. But it's not starting something brand new. That's what we don't want to do. We want to have that energy theme of going back to the past before we could take a giant leap forward, right? So we see the June 22nd, we see a lot of energies in the month of June, and it might be a little rough ride with communication the way it is right now, but maybe by June 22nd we'll all have a clearer picture where our world, where our reality is headed. And we just want to be very mindful right now. And you might be not communicating that well. I hope I'm communicating well during this message, light warriors. But remember, be sure brain is in gear before engaging mouth. And you should always do this, but take a little extra time now, knowing that it's Mercury retrograde, and it's a really bad one when it comes to communication. So take a step back, think before you speak, light warriors. Think before you speak, and don't take everything that people are sending your way. It might not be the right information right now. So we know about communications, we know about electronics. This is where we are right now. It's Mercury retrograde, but you're going to be just fine, kid. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because if we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. It doesn't mean you have to hide in fear in your house when it's Mercury retrograde, but it's helpful to be aware or conscious of these energy themes, and you're aware that communications are going to be rough. You know that you're going to have issues with electronics, so leave some extra time and maybe take a step back until this passes. And also on your personal journey, it's a good time to go back to things that you worked on in the past, and now you're going to be improving these things and making them a lot better. I've done that a lot of times. Practice what you preach. So take the time to revisit things in the past. Try not to, go forward, and don't take words too literal right now, because there's massive craziness in the communication. So hopefully this will be a great month. But we're dealing with this as well. There's a lot of energies, but it's all about being conscious of the energies, understanding that this reality is based off of energy, frequency, and vibration. And when you know this, you're able to navigate this time period more efficiently. So don't worry about what's going on out there, light warriors. You know why. We cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious that it's Mercury retrograde. Oh, it's all right, light warriors. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. Find us in the fifth dimension. Not a place, but a frequency. Have a wonderful day living your everyday life. Share your experiences in the comments. Are you experiencing difficulty communicating? Is it hard for you to communicate with people? Are people driving you up the wall and you're like, what are these people talking about right now? Share your experiences in the comments. It's helpful as we collaborate during this time period and we're learning more and more about our reality. And it could, make this time period a lot easier for people. You always want to be efficient and go with the flow and ride the wave. I hope this message was helpful for all of you. Have a great day. Namaste.